challenging the moral code of altruism. Self-sacrifice is the precept that man needs to serve others in order to justify his existence. But his moral duty is to serve others. My morality is based on man's life as a standard of value. His highest moral purpose is the achievement of his own happiness. That each man must live as an end in himself and follow his own rational self-interest.
She stood with a green banknote for a flag and all her sins. And the Queen and Adam Smith were waving up there in the wind. And the Queen looked uneasy, and Adam Smith was dead. And Charles Darwin had a question mark graffitied on his head. And the flagpole was stabbed into children from the south. 1 billion tortured souls from the breath of her mouth. She was half naked with expensive shoes on, and a glass of red wine between her finger and her thumb. And we stood behind her, armed with telephones and songs, uneasy laughter, and the unshakable images of bodies in thoughts, our beating hearts and our thirsty tongues. She looked lusty, sick of us all, and I imagine that if and when the war was won, she would be a good lay, but we would have never got on. And I was right, none of us did, not with anyone. We said freedom is my right to do what I want, when I want to do it, and have what I want to have, when I want to have it. It's a flat screen TV with 1,000 channels and 1 million voices, a giant supermarket with endless consumer choices. It's freedom from inconvenience, it's inconvenience is evil, responsibility is of the devil. We want food without washing up, travel without time, sex without relationships, and children without sacrifice. The turn to talking about freedom for the self, freedom from entanglements with anybody else. Honestly, if you don't have the good looks or the wealth, then you will be left behind to sit dying on the shelf. I said the illusion of freedom is something else. Jealousy, conceit, and justice for the self. When one man's loss is another man's gain. When one lover's pleasure is another lover's pain. When one people hits the floor and another one prevails. And when nations march off to war. We serve freedom and justice for the self. 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 Freedom. You better believe our enemies put their hands to their cheeks and screamed, rooted by their feet and up to their knees in fallen leaves. Their armies evaporated like careless dreams in the morning, when the first beams of the glory of the sun come in. Half of them joined us, the rest of them we devoured, except for one who stood alone, like an orphan, like a tower. She opened her mouth and addressed the blinking crowd, saying, how in the world does it come about that in your thinking freedom and selfishness have become the same thing? What did you think you were doing, and who told you there would be no reckoning? That the greatest of virtues lay within the self. The spin doctors poured over it and shouted out. The advertisers had a meeting and rebranded it. The witches and the wizards all danced around with it. The politicians raised their hands and voted for it. All the weathermen smiled and predicted it. And all the priests and the clergy were blessing it. And with sleight of hand, the illusionist did his little trick, and the trick was done. Selfishness, the illusion of the spirits were high and fists raised up in the air before she died as we outnumbered her. Standing there, she said, you can take your illusion and stick it up yourself until you tear. Liquefy it, rub it into your hair if you want to. If you think that it'll make you look better, get your poor people knitting it into an expensive sweater.
say that man is entitled to his own happiness and that he must achieve it himself.